And it looks as though Juventus will be seeing much more of those touches of brilliance from Aaron Ramsey. Looks as though he's going to be on his way there. First of all, is it a good deal for the player, do you think, Curtis?
I think so. Obviously, I don't know what the wage situation would have been at Arsenal, whether he was released because he couldn't agree a contract or whether it was because he maybe isn't for Unai Emery. But the chance to go to Juventus, a European super giant, as I said earlier, and just play with a team that are going to be challenging for the Champions League, challenging, obviously, winning the league most years. It's going to be massive. And obviously, I know people have said, will he play? He's not particularly playing every game for Arsenal at the moment, so why not take a chance, go there and try and play with the best in the world?
How much of a chance do you think he has of playing regularly at Juventus, do you think?
Well, he's got to a better team at the moment, because I saw them at Man United recently. I thought they were terrific. I mean, completely blew away the old stereotypes about Italian football. They were everywhere, playing different positions, brilliant on the ball, great energy. So I think he has done terrifically well through his career at Arsenal, and it's time for him to move on. If you look at how much they cost him and what he's given them back, what a deal that's been. So it's worked out great for both of them. So people must understand that sometimes players just want to change. And also players, they'll probably say, well, Arsenal should have signed him. Maybe he's asked for £600,000 a week. And they went, no. And you also got, Emery has this idea of how he wants it, and it mightn't fit his style. So, and then players, I keep saying players would say, I love the manager to tell me the truth, if he likes me or not, and they think he's went, well, maybe no for me. So he's got the truth, but what's happened, because he's been a smashing player and a great athlete and a good bloke, and I think Juventus will take that and they'll say, we'll take you, because you're a right good player. And he's deserved his move to go to a club like that. I think it's a terrific move for him. And I think it's good for players to go and after maybe 5 or 6, especially attacking players, to move on and see something else. So I think he's been good value for Arsenal, Arsenal being good for him, and I think it's a great deal for Juventus and him.
I think he'll look at what Bale done. I'm guessing, I don't know for sure, but they're probably close. And him going abroad, obviously going to Real Madrid, I know it's a massive club, and he's obviously gone on to win Champions Leagues and everything. But to see him go abroad and thrive, maybe he thinks he can do the same. Obviously, maybe not to the same level as Gareth Bale, but he maybe believes that he can do it too, and he can turn himself into a big European player by being a massive European
I think
player.
he could have stayed there and had an easy life, and kind of floated through and played 3 games, maybe left out in 1, and he's went, no, I think I'll change now and see how far I can really get in it, how good I can make myself, because some of the clips you see in him, he's a wonderful footballer, and I think he's did the right thing. He's did the right thing to move on.
Unai Emery says that Arsenal only in the market, though, in terms of bringing players in for loan players. Does that surprise you?
Yeah, especially, like I say, I think Arsene Wenger said when Mesut Ozil signed his contract, of this obviously big contract that he's on, that it was a cheaper option to give him the contract, because to replace a Mesut Ozil, you're going to have to go out and pay 50 million plus. And it's the same with Aaron Ramsey. If you're saying that Arsenal are in the market only for loans, to not possibly try and tempt him with, if it is money, a little bit more money to keep him, and not have to fork out a fee, is crazy. But like we said, if he's not for Unai Emery and his value doesn't really have a value in the team, with obviously signing Guendouzi in the summer, then maybe he doesn't really see a role for him.
But I think if Liverpool had that mindset of saying, well, we'll give players bigger wages, because to buy a better player might cost us 50 million, I don't think Liverpool will be where they are just now. They went, need a goalkeeper, 60 million, need that one at 75 million, don't care what the wages are. We have it, we can do it. So we'll not keep the players here who are quite happy to maybe just get an extra wage, and we play safe. You know what I mean? Maybe the safer option. They went, right, let's go for it.
Well, I guess, yeah, that happened with Emre Can, who obviously is at Juventus. Yeah. So, obviously, he was negotiating for ages, and it was the longest negotiation, and he ended up signing for Juventus as well. So, obviously, Klopp saw that he maybe isn't worth that much to me, and he let him move on, and obviously, Liverpool have got in people like Keita, Shaqiri, who's playing centre midfield as well now, that have gone and done a really good job for him.
He's a real powerful player, I think they've went for that really energetic player, haven't they, Liverpool? Yeah. They've decided, oh, we've just got to go. But like you, you're a good player, but just to fit in, to make us perfect, we need somebody like this fella here and that fella.
Talking of powerful players, the whole Marko Arnautovic and West Ham saga has gathered a little bit of pace. His agent is also his brother, and he said he thinks that the club should allow Marko Arnautovic to move on because that they're going to make pretty much double the money on him, and it's a good bit of business. And why would you keep a player who doesn't want to stay here? The club have come out and said, we expect him to honour his contract. A really brief statement from them. Marko Arnautovic has a contract. We fully expect him to honour it. He is not for sale. 2 short sentences.
Yeah. Well, first of all, the bit at the end is not for sale. You can wipe that away from any football club now, because if you can sell Neymar and things like that, you'll sell anybody. So you're for sale at the right price. But that's not the right price, because today's market is worth far more than that. But the winner out of this deal, the best winner out of this deal would be his brother, the agent. He would walk away with the prize from being somebody's brother who has, I don't think he's any talent in football. I don't know if he's any talent in business. But he's kind of stumbled on a brother that is wonderful at this moment in time. And you know fine well that the agent's fees now are absolutely phenomenal. Just look at the money that went with the Pogba deal. Jeez. So I think brother might panic before player panics. Again, you've got to, it depends on who the player you are, I think, sometimes when you get these situations. I think you might be a bit of trouble. I think he'll not take this lying down and out of it. But you look at Ramsey. My contract's up, I deal with it, I get on with it, I play it my full. I hope I'm wrong when out of it, because I'd rather he stayed in this league because I think he's fantastic to watch. I think he's wasting himself going to China at his age, because you only go there when you're 35 and get fortunes. Yeah. I think this is the place to be. So I hope that he'll see sense over the next couple of days and no cause any bother. I hope that, because I think he's a terrific footballer. Also, if he does leave, I think West Ham would have a problem if he leaves. I think when he plays, they're a good side. When he doesn't play, not as good.
I think a big issue with the statement that has been made today by Arnautovic's agent, his brother, is the fact that 2 months ago he was saying in Austrian press that he wants to play in the Champions League. He should be tested against the best players in order to be recognised on the international level. 2 months later, I'm guessing the same way that Ramsey has obviously got this move to Juventus, maybe that's the move that Arnautovic wanted, and maybe it didn't come. And then the Chinese money has come.
Moves in.
Yeah. And the Chinese money has come. And
does it suggest that maybe the offer from the Champions League club didn't come?
I'm guessing so, yeah, because obviously, if it was about that and he was truthful and you could go to a Champions League club, you're going to earn the money anyway. Maybe not as much as China, but if that's what he really wanted, he'd be able to earn it. But at the same time, that the Chinese money, and you see players like Oscar, who went at 24 years old, I think, and he's still out there now.
But he's disappeared, didn't he?
Yeah, but that's it, and it's down to the
You've
player.
Got to decide what does football do to you? Do you love it and enjoy it, or do you want to make money out of this thing? But
that's it. There's no issue with it. If that's the case, that's the case. Every man to themselves. If the money's too good to turn down, the money's too good to turn down. But it's just the sentiment behind the statement was more about to try a different league and to challenge for championships. Now, I'm not sure too many people are going to be excited by a Chinese championship compared to playing in the Champions League.
One player who could be on his way to one of the big European superpowers, Callum Hudson-Odoi, could be on his way to Bayern Munich. One player who knows Callum Hudson-Odoi and the Bundesliga is Jadon Sancho. This is what he said.
Everyone has different paths, but I have told them that Bundesliga is a nice league, and yeah, they do express the youth a lot, so yeah.
Is that the attraction then, that they're going to play young players, that he's going to get games?
Well, yeah, if you're going for 35 million to anywhere, whatever age you are, you'd expect to get games anyway, maybe except for Man City. But yeah, obviously they've come in with, I believe, is it 4 bids? They started at 20 million, 25, 30, 35 now, and they seem to be edging closer, and they seem determined to get him. And it's just the fact of whether or not Chelsea are now going to make a big play to say, listen, we're going to give you this big deal. We want to keep you. Want you to be involved in the games, like he has been recently, but more due to injury rather than the fact that he's going to go. Or whether he does decide that, no, I don't want to sign a deal here. I want to go to Bayern Munich and try and do what Jadon Sancho done, which is left a massive British club and now finds himself in the England squad as an 18-year-old playing at the top of the Bundesliga.
And similarly to Aaron Ramsey, although at slightly different stages of their career, he's taking a risk in moving abroad and going to embrace different culture, different lifestyle, which is very much to be admired. But why would he get the chance at Bayern Munich and not at Chelsea?
Jayden, you're talking about with it.
Yeah, and potentially Callum Hudson-Odoi as well, if he does that.
Well, I think the most important thing, these kids, because they'll earn money, there's no doubt about that, they're probably earning good money now. But the good money stops if you don't play football and progress. If you stay the same, then you're going to have a problem. Now, I think between 18 and 21, that is the time you must play football. So whatever decision he's making with his parents, his agents, where am I going to get best chance of playing? Because I worry about Loftus-Cheek, because I think he's a real talent, but doesn't play at all. I'm scared he goes past that level. Over the last 3 years, he only played, I don't know, about 15 games in 3 years. That's not enough to learn the game and become one with the game and understand what it's all about. So I think I was given advice, where are you going to play? You got to have more chance at Chelsea, or do you have more chance at Bayern Munich? You need to speak to the people involved, and they're going to, when you speak to them, forget the money, forget this, forget everything. Speak to the people who are going to run the club, be the coach, and speak to them and tell me, do you want me? Where you got to play me? Where do you think I'm going to play? How do you see your team going? Did all the players step in it and I go in? Right, OK, you've got to get that. Then he's got to take his chance himself. It just doesn't happen after that. But I think it's most important between 18 and 21, you're playing regular games of football.
Particularly at the moment with Bayern Munich as well, as much as it's a massive draw, the name of the club, they're having issues with their management as well at the moment.
They've always got dramas at Bayern Munich.
They're not sure if he's going to stay, if they're going to replace him. There was rumours of Wenger.
That might be too big a club, seriously.
Yeah.
With Dortmund, I know they're totally... But there's not that pressure on the Dortmund players as there is in Bayern Munich. It's finding that team that's got to play them every week. That's the thing. It might even be Chelsea or Bayern. It might be somebody further down in leagues that he gets games.
But it's do you leave Chelsea to... If you fair enough on loan, you can do that. But do you leave Chelsea and give away the chance of playing for Chelsea to go to someone that isn't going to be challenging, or stay at a club where recently you have played, you've done well, and you could potentially play in a they're not going to win a title this year, but in a Champions League push, and make a name for yourself here.
I would still think that even the people advice at Chelsea, if they really think he's a good player, and if he can't get a game for Willian or Hazard just now, I would put him on loan to a right good club and make sure they say to the club, he plays, OK? If he doesn't play, we'll bring him back. And that would give him games, but still being attached to Chelsea. He might have the ring off playing with Chelsea or Bayern Munich. It might be someday...
Does it help that Ribéry's injured at Bayern Munich?
Well, to be fair, he's been injured for 6 years, Ribéry. You know, he's
all
been
right, well, then does it help that he's injury prone?
He's got a good contract then, if he's been injured 6 years.
He is. Again, that would be entirely up to himself. What he thinks is right. Again, the advice is, have a look at them. What are they doing? It's like the lad you're talking about, 120 million from Dortmund to Dembele to Barcelona. Didn't get a game. And he's just got to fade it again if he doesn't watch what he's doing. It has to be right. This is not an easy decision. He might think that whatever I do is right. Something can go wrong here. But the priority of his parents and his agent, make sure he gets games between 18 and 21. If he does do that, with the talent he's got to flourish between 21 and 31 and have an incredible career. And if you don't do that between 18 and 21, then you'll just flitter out the game. You might have a decent amount of money at that point, but it goes away. Trust me, it goes away. Do
you think he's got a better chance then of playing more games at Bayern Munich than he does at Chelsea? I mean, that was the first time he's made consecutive starts, was in the League Cup semi-final.
It's only the manager will tell you that. If the manager of Bayern Munich is the man that's behind this, saying, I want him, he's going to be my main man, then I guess he'd play more at Bayern Munich. But again...
It'd have to be the general manager rather than the coach.
Yeah, but that's it, because
I
think it was Salihamidzic who was the one saying how much Bayern wants him, not the manager. So it's interesting that happened, because if you're a player, you want the manager to want you, not to be a club signing. And I think when you're making that kind of drastic move in terms of overseas, it's a big club, obviously. At 18 years old, you want the manager to want you 100%, and we don't know if behind the scenes he's heard that.